stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for
Well, hello and welcome to the African News on Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin. Before beginning the news, we would urge you to kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending stories. We begin the African news from Sudan, where a paramilitary group in Sudan has attacked a city in the western Darfur region, killing more than 30 persons, an activist group has said, in the latest deadly offensive on an area that is home to hundreds of thousands of displaced persons. The Rapid Support Forces, or RSF as popularly called, and allied militias launched an offensive on El Fasher, the provincial capital of North Darfur province, on Sunday. According to the resistance committees, an activist group, dozens of other persons were wounded in the attack, said the group which tracks the war. The RSF renewed its attack on Monday, shelling residential buildings and open markets in the city, the group said. There was no immediate comment from the RSF. El Fasher, more than 800 kilometers, that's about 500 meters, RSF since Sudan descended into civil war more than 2 years ago, killing more than 24,000 persons, according to the United Nations, though activists say the number is likely far higher. The RSF has been attempting to seize El Fasher for a year to complete its control of the entire Darfur region. Since then, it has launched many attacks on the city and two major famine-hit camps for displaced persons on its outskirts. Meanwhile, to help address the difficult humanitarian situation in Sudan, the European Commission and member states have pledged 522 million euros in aid for 2025 at the high-level conference in Sudan, co-hosted in London today by the Commission alongside the United Kingdom, France, Germany, and the African Union. This comes after 2 years of armed conflicts, which have strongly affected the population in the area. Out of the overall EU pledge, the Commission pledged 282 million euros. The remaining fundings was pledged by EU member states Austria, Cheshire, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Malta, Poland, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. EU aid will provide urgently needed health and nutritional care, food assistance, water and sanitation, shelter, protection, and education to the most vulnerable households, the internally displaced persons, refugee families, and host communities. The conference comes on the heels of Commissioner Labib's visit to Chad, where she expressed the devastating impact of these conflicts on refugees, women, and children. The conference aims to increase international attention of the long-lasting human tragedy in Sudan and provides a platform to address the devastating humanitarian consequences, including practical steps to improve humanitarian access. Moving on, hunger and malnutrition are on the rise in Ethiopia as ongoing conflicts, regional instability, displacement, drought, and economic shocks leave millions without sufficient nutritious food. The UN World Food Programme, that's the WFP, have warned today. The organization's life-saving response has been severely hampered by critical funding shortfalls, as 3.6 million of the most vulnerable are at imminent risk of losing food assistance, including malnutrition, treatment for 650,000 women and children. More than 10 million persons are facing hunger and malnutrition across Ethiopia. These include 3 million persons forced from their homes due to conflicts and extreme weather. Malnutrition rates are alarmingly high, with 4.4 million pregnant and breastfeeding women and children in need of treatment. In parts of Somali, Oromia, Tigray, and Afar regions, child wasting has surpassed the 15% emergency threshold. Humanitarian needs in Ethiopia are rising due to conflicts in neighboring countries. WFP already supports 800,000 refugees in Ethiopia, including 100,000 Sudanese refugees, while escalating insecurity in northeastern South Sudan could drive 10,000 more refugees across the border. Meanwhile, Burkina Faso's military government has said it foiled a major plot to overthrow junta leader Captain Ibrahim Traore, with the army alleging the plotters were based in neighboring Ivory Coast. Security Minister Mahamadou Sana said the coup attempt was led by current and former soldiers working with terrorist leaders. The intention was to attack the presidential palace last week, the statement reads. The aim of the plan was to sow total chaos and place the country under the supervision of an international organization, Sana said on state television on Monday. It is the latest of several claims of attempts to remove the junta leader, who seized power in 2022, and increasing militant attacks. Burkina Faso, like Sahel neighbors, has been battling armed jihadist groups, with an estimated 40% of the country under their control. Moving on, South Sudan's army said it had recaptured a key town in Upper Nile State that it lost to an ethnic Noa militia in March in clashes which led to the arrest of first Vice President Riek Machar and a spiraling political crisis. President Salva Kiir has served in an uneasy power-sharing government with Machar since a 2018 peace deal ended a civil war between fighters royal to the two men, which killed hundreds of thousands of people. Machar's detention under house arrest for trying to stir up a rebellion through his supposed support for the White Army militia in Upper Nile has ignited international fears of renewed conflicts along ethnic lines. Spokesperson for the military and White Army, which Machar's party denies backing, said Nasir town was recaptured on Sunday without a fight. In his words, he said, "We were just taking a tactical withdrawal," said Hanson Cho James, White Army spokesperson, adding that 17 persons were killed during heavy bombardment by the nearby village of Tulik. Army spokesperson Lul Roy Kwang said the military were able to avoid an ambush in Tuluk thanks to close air support. A Hamas delegation departed for Cairo to discuss new ideas aimed at securing a ceasefire in Gaza, an official from the group has said. An Israeli airstrike killed 26 persons across the territory on Tuesday. Renewed efforts follows Hamas' rejection last week of Israel's latest proposal to secure the release of hostages still held in Gaza. Talks have so far failed to produce any breakthrough since Israel resumed its air and ground assault on Gaza from March 18, ending a 2-month ceasefire. The delegation will meet with Egyptian officials to discuss new ideas aimed at reaching a ceasefire, the Hamas official said, adding the team includes the group's chief negotiator, Kali al-Hayya. The latest round of discussion comes a day after newly appointed U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, urged Hamas to accept a deal that would secure the release of hostages in exchange for the entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza. You're still watching the African News right here on Voice of the People Television. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we will be looking at the analysis segment of the African News. Do stay with us.
for the extraordinary. Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 202. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 202. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and
All right, glad to have you back. It is still African News right here on Voice of the People Television. Now let's go straight to analyzing these stories. Joining us now is Barrister Darlington Agumore, who is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst and, of course, a barrister by law. Barrister, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David. How are you?
I'm fine, very well, thank you. How are you doing, Natural Barrister?
I'm okay.
All right, Barrister, let's get to it. Interestingly, Hamas is leading a team to Cairo for the Gaza talks, as Israel also has consistently keep having both land and air strikes in the past couple of days after a 2-month ceasefire. Let's x-ray the situation right now. Hamas seem to want to truly have this talk, and as it stands, is there a possibility that Israel might want to also have this conversation? Because Hamas is on their way to Cairo, Egypt, to have that conversation.
Look, if you are going for discussion and the conditions for peace have not been met at home, that discussion will be null and void. If you not eat any food, I don't know why Hamas is still keeping some Israelis with them. I don't know why. There cannot be any outcome of that talk. Since Israel is still hitting the Gaza Strip and all that, they should have done the needful at home before going for any peace talk.
Now, Barrister, let's look at it from this angle. Why do you think Hamas is practically rejecting the proposal of releasing the hostages with them? Why do you think they're holding that?
So I don't know. Because look, I've said it here, it's not in their favor. It can never be in their favor for them to be recalcitrant. You know, if they have done that, then the whole world will now face Israel and ask them, why are you still bombing the place? So, look, it may come to a point where there will be no Hamas, no Palestinian, no Gaza Strip. I'm not joking, because Israel is not letting go. Why are you keeping their people with you? What is Hamas up to? Do you think they want to use it for bargaining chip or what? As a matter of fact, Israel can still bomb the whole place down and still take their people home. Whether Hamas like it or not, Israel can raise the place down completely. It's not beyond them. They can do it. So if I were Hamas, my dear, I would have, look, I will even ask you, go and check ourselves or every other place, see whether you have your people there. I don't like this kind of stupidity. Now, that's what it looks like.
Barrister, as it stands now, right, the latest round of discussion is coming just a day after the U.S. have appointed a new ambassador to Israel. I'm talking about Mike Huckabee. Is there the possibility that maybe Hamas might want to, at this point, do the needful, which is agreeing to the first proposal that, of course, we're going to release the hostages with them?
You know that the peace proposal is on 2 stages.
Yes.
The first stage has not been completed up till now. I think over 2 or 3 months now.
Mm.
Then how do you think that the second phase will even take off? Why is Hamas still keeping Israelis in their custody?
Which is the reason why Israel has returned back bombing Hamas as well.
Exactly. That's a major reason. So all this talk, if they like, let them go for peace talks in heaven. Israel will not agree. You drew the first blood on October 7 when you invaded that enclave, and you think Israel will smile with you, Abi? I don't know why this Hamas is unnecessarily belligerent, very aggressive neighbor.
Now, Barrister, as it stands, the Hamas delegation departed. What they term idea during Gaza, new ideas to what exactly from your perspective?
I don't know them. I don't know for them. When they have not look, there was a peace proposal which both parties agreed upon, and the major item on that people is for release of hostages.
So what's with the reneging of these proposals, Barrister? I
don't know. Maybe Hamas want to use it as a bargaining chip. I don't know. And now look at what is costing them: more damage, destruction, more bombing, more lives being lost.
26 already, Barrister.
Oh, so you can see those
after
people,
6 fire.
Those people.
26 persons.
I don't know the kind of breed I can attribute to the Hamas to. It did not have to be stubborn and whatever. This is stupidity of the highest order. They are not in a position to even renege at all. Rather, they should even be appealing to Israel. Say, look, we have released all your people. Come and inspect everywhere. But he's still trying to show that which power?
Barrister.
Israel will raise that place down.
Barrister, some quarters have said that the first agreement that they had looking more like it's favoring just Israel. And that is the reason why Hamas is practically not, agreeing to that first proposal. Is there the possibility that they did not have their own side being considered in that first proposal?
In what way? They said release the hostages.
Yes.
That is even what will appease Israel. I think Hamas is not even a good negotiator. As it is now, you are on your knees in this war. You will never win it. Even if the war lasts for 200 years, you will never win it. Rather, you will suffer extermination. Israel is ready to do that if you are not careful. So on what ground will it be? The world is trying to appease Israel so that the bombing will stop. Because the entire Arab world cannot even face Israel. Not to talk of a small Hamas and their small army. I mean, look at it yourself. The world is trying to appease Israel so that they will stop, And now you, the person that they are trying to save, you want to prove that you can fight. Oh yeah, go ahead now. After Cairo trip, you come back. Maybe you go to America and come back. Go to Russia and come back. Israel will not let go until you release all their hostages. That was what Netanyahu said.
Now, not just Tuesday alone. The other last week, 26 persons were killed by the Israeli airstrike that, of course, took lives to that level. What is the confidence from the part of Hamas that is making them consistently hold back hostages and not agreeing or even fulfilling the first part of this proposal to them?
It is because they believe that the whole world will now come against Israel, or that when they hold them, maybe Israel will now listen to world leaders or UN and all that.
At the expense of how many lives?
Unknown to them, Israel is not ready to listen to anybody. If they said it before they started retaliation, they said that they are not going to listen to anybody.
Even with the presence of Donald Trump.
They said they will not listen to anybody. Israel they now prepare to retaliate. They said before they took off that look, they will not look back and they will not listen to anybody. They said it. And you think they are joking, Abi? With all the devastation you are suffering.
All right, Barrister.
Why have Arab nations not come to join you in this war? Why haven't they joined you?
We want to take this quick break, Barrister. I would continue this analysis segment in just a second. We need to just correct some things technically. So we're going to a quick break. When we return, the analysis segment will continue just in a bit. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. It is still the African News right here on Voice of the People Television. We do sincerely apologize for that technical break, but we would have to return to the analysis segment with Barrister Darlington Agumo, who is still here with us with the studio. Barrister, once again, you're welcome again.
Yeah, pleasure.
All right, now let's get to another conversation. But before we get off it, we were talking about the Hamas being something about who and what they believe is giving them the power. I'm talking about Hamas to consistently hold back on not releasing the hostages of Israel.
You know, when you are in a war like this and you are the underdog or sort of, you are not in a position to start giving condition. It will not help you. Israel is still angry that you invaded them on October 7. So if you are not thinking that they will release all your own people, including the criminals they arrested who invaded their country, you may be wasting your time. The Israelis you are holding, they are innocent people that you took away from Israeli soil. I don't know whether they have lawyers in their midst. The people you are holding, who are the Israelites, they didn't invade your country. They did not offend you. You took them away from Israeli soil. And you are now holding them hostage. That's what they say, release them to happen at the end of the day.
Okay, now Barrister, before I get off this particular conversation, I'm saying, no, we're not going to take you guys in, but rather we would support to rebuild Gaza. Do you think this is potent enough to want to not take the Hamas people?
Yeah, because there is a certain spirit in the heart of these Hamas people. They are unnecessarily aggressive, even where there should be none. Do you know that if they have been so accommodating, so peaceful, in fact, this issue between Palestinian and Israeli territory would have been settled long ago. But each time they want to agree to a peace, whatever, these people say they don't want Israel to exist. They don't want you are talking of the number 4 most powerful nation in the whole world. Number 4. Number 4 most powerful nation in the whole world. And that is the person you say you don't want them to exist. Are you serious? I just pity those people. If not for maybe God and public opinion, by now nobody will be in that Gaza Strip. No human being will be there. Israel would have exterminated all of them. Israel would have wiped out all of them completely.
And even with all of this, the Palestinians are not even they're not even thinking of releasing the hostages back to Israel.
They want is this Hamas? You know, Hamas is in control. Hamas is even a rogue organization. Hamas have taken over the control of Palestinian territory, and they are not doing very arrogant, very unnecessarily stubborn, very aggressive. Meanwhile, they have nothing to depend on. Everything they have on that soil is from foreign aids. Foreign aid given to them by Arab nations. They don't have anything of their own.
Oh well.
So what is the essence of the stubbornness?
Well, we definitely will be giving you this story as they progress. If, of course, the Hamas would release these hostages back to Israel. Barrister, before I let you go, Burkina Faso's army says they've fought a major coup plot against their military leader. And of course, they've said that the plotters allegedly were based in neighboring Ivory Coast. Barrister, fact that even Burkina Faso citizens are practically enjoying what they are seeing presently in the country. But then a coup. What say you about this, Barrister?
It is sponsored from our side. And go and check. France must be there. They want to install their own stooge. I told you, if with what happened at this other nation, Niger and Mali, they know that France will fight back. They know that France will fight back. It don't need to be told. So all their shenanigans, thank God those people are living up to it. They will not allow them. I pity those they want to use. I pity them. It's unfortunate.
Now, another interesting part of this conversation is, Barrister, according to the Security Minister, Mahamadou Sana, he did say that the coup attempt was led by current and former soldiers working with the terrorist leaders, and of course residing in Cote d'Ivoire. Now, with this high-level intel, would Burkina Faso still survive? Because it's not about the first time they are trying to oust the military commander. I'm talking about Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso.
If they have tried it, are comfortable with their leaders, they want to bring in their own brand of regime being sponsored from outside. And that is the truth. Those people that are patriotic enough to say, we don't even want our colonial masters again, are they not to be encouraged to free Burkina Faso from the shackles of their colonial masters? And maybe because of this, they are angry. They will still try again. Go and they will try again. Want them in Burkina Faso.
Barrister, what is in for whoever is planning the coup? What is in for them as gain, basically, in Burkina Faso? Are
you asking? Is the natural resources there, the mineral resources there, what else? They want to be in control so that they will continue to lord it over them. They want to be in control. They are getting something, though. At least they have 1 or 2 mineral resources they want to be making. That's the truth. I said, if you check underneath the hood of this thing, France is there.
Barrister, the commander-in-chief of Burkina Faso, I'm talking about Ibrahim Traore, he said in a bold statement that any country in Africa that wants to succeed and, of course, enjoy the dividends of what God has given them should stay away from democracy. Do you share that particular?
I think so. I really think so, because we have tried it and we are not funny here. I think so. The man is completely correct, because this democracy that the white man gave us is not working. I'm not joking, it's not working. The man is completely correct. I'm not joking. Look at Nigeria. Look at Nigeria with our so-called democracy and 64 years of independence. What do we have? The man is correct, I'm telling you, because the Western world, they use this democracy to come into your country. And you think that they love you because you're a democratic country. No. It's a means to plunder you, but you won't know. You won't know. They will tell you we don't like military regime, this and that. It is a lie. This democracy is an avenue to destroy your economy. You will never know until they have done with you. Okay, look at it. The IMF and World Bank that encouraged Tinubu to bring these harsh policies that is now threatening his government. It's the same body that is telling him that his politics are not working. Can you imagine? They told him, come and borrow, we'll give you money, come and borrow money, this and that. Now that the economy is on its knees, the same body is now making mockery of him and his policies. Meanwhile, there are people that have shunned them. They don't want their money. They don't want their presence in their country because of what they are doing. So when you see them praising you, don't go and sleep. They have already finished with you.
In other words, there are some underlying undertone.
Of course. They are never for your development. Don't deceive yourself. They are never for your development. So any country that wants to really, okay, look at China. Why can't they go there and mess up? Why can't they go to China and dictate for them this and that? They always do it to African nations where you have a weak government. Nothing else. Nothing else. So if you are now saying we want to be on our own, we want to be on our feet, they will see you as an enemy. And gullible African leader will follow you to condemn you. I'm telling you.
All right, Barrister, in 30 seconds, do you think that African leaders, as it stands, let me not even go Africa, Burkina Faso's leader, I'm talking about Ibrahim Traore, do you think he's going to survive this? All of this pressure?
Why not? The coup has been quashed now, Abi. They have, they have arrested the coup plotters.
Yes.
So what else?
Would survive it? The more pressure they come?
I said with this success, the other people will think twice, especially if they are taken to the stakes and shot, because that's the outcome of any fake coup.
All right.
You don't come and beg and say we are sorry. No.
All right.
I think when they got all the intel from them, they should waste them as a lesson for others.
Oh, well, that is where we have to draw the curtain on the analysis segment of the African News right here on Voice of the People Television. We've been talking with Barrister Darlington Agumo, who is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst and a barrister by law. Once again, Barrister, thank you so very much for coming.
That measure.
Moving on to some other stories, and of course, straight we'll go to some business stories. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has witnessed the signing of a package of contracts awarded to the Egyptian-Chinese joint venture tasked with executing the basic design works for Phase 1 of the Red Sea Petrochemicals Complex in Ain Sokna. The agreement involves the Red Sea National Petrochemical Company, China National Chemical Engineering Company Limited, and ENPPI and Petrojet. Located 10 kilometers from Sokna Port, the project aims to produce a range of petrochemical products through an advanced oil refinery and steam cracking units, enabling the production of ethylene and propylene. The initiative aligns with Egypt's efforts to drive a green transformation in the petrochemical sector, enhance environmental sustainability, reduce the carbon footprint, and promote energy efficiency, with all in line with the Sustainable Development Strategy and Egypt Vision 2030. The project also supports the national agenda of localizing industry and increasing value-added contribution to the economy to boost investor and financial institution confidence, helping to secure funding for a subsequent implementation phase while improving the project's ability to adhere to timelines and achieve strategic goals. Still talking business, the South African rand firmed early on Tuesday ahead of the release of a key economic indicator by the country's central bank. And Africa's most nation. The risk-sensitive rand has endured bouts of volatility hot by political disputes between the two biggest parties in the coalition government, the African National Congress as the ANC and the Democratic Alliance as the DA, over a proposed increase to value-added tax on May the 1st. The DA and other smaller parties have publicly rejected the proposal and filed a court case challenging the legality of the project process. The case will be heard on Tuesday. And to wrap up the African news, we'll go straight to some sports stories. Harambee Stars coach Benny McCarthy is among names being mentioned in relation to the soon-to-be vacant Orlando Pirates coaching job in his country, South Africa. Pirates are already on the lookout for a new coach after Spanish tactician Jose Rivero announced that he will not renew his contract after 3 successful years with the South African Giants. That has led to speculations over the best possible candidates that would replace Rivero in the Pirates' hot seat, and McCarthy, who enjoys a court status in South Africa and at Pirates, is among those linked with the job. And with that, we've come to the end of African News right here on Voice of the People Television. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we're at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Thank you so very much for being a part of this broadcast. I am David Edwin. Do have a good afternoon.